Hi guys, and welcome to a new segment here on AMSA UPNM called the Synapse, where we will be talking to a lot of medical professionals and also medical students and just having a fun conversation. For today's episode, we have two people from two major universities here in Malaysia. We have who I consider the OG of med school vlogging in Malaysia, and also the current president of Perseab UKM. We have Lin Shiwei, and also we have someone you would have probably seen on your FYP pretty frequently. We have Danya all the way from UM. So thank you guys for coming. So how are you guys feeling? All okay?
Yeah.
Yep, good.
First time in UPNM?
Yes.
How's UPNM treating you so?
A very smooth process. They asked me for my IC, greeted me with guns, and then I just came in. Yeah, all's good.
All good. Okay.
Yeah.
Not a typical greeting like you would expect from a university. with
Yeah,
guns and
no.
all that. Okay. So just to start off with a very quick icebreaker, right? Let's go back 4 years because you all are both in fourth year, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's go back 4 years. Assuming you guys weren't a medical student, what would you guys be doing right now? Yeah, maybe let's start a bit Shiwei first.
Actually, other than medicine, I have always wanted to study medicine since like very young. I know it's very cliche, so I never really thought about what I would do other than medicine. But if I had to pick one, I would actually go for arts. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that's
like
interesting.
I have like a hobby. I like to draw, and I also have like my own art page and everything. But yeah, the reason why that I also did not wanted to pursue that at first was like, you know, having your hobby as a job. It's quite different lah.
Yeah.
So
Got it.
yeah, so I mean the quick answer would be I
Something to do with arts.
something to do with arts.
Okay, that's interesting. How about you, Danya?
Okay, as opposed to Chiwei, I'm actually very bad at arts, so not arts. Actually, before medicine, I was going to pursue a computer science degree in Canada, and then eventually I did get in. I joined for about one semester, and then I dropped out
So
because
you went all the way to
no, it was during COVID, so then I did it online, and then I did not like it, and I was unsure what to do at that point, so I dropped out. And eventually I was thinking what to do, and I decided on doing medicine. And so then I had to actually retake my A-levels, did my bio, chemistry and maths all over again, and I retake my A-levels, and then I joined UM.
Yeah, that's interesting. Not many people have that part of getting into computer science and then changing into medicine.
Yeah, I think for the longest time, ever since I was in secondary school, people would ask me what I wanted to be, and I felt very pressured to decide what I want to be. And so, like my dad, he does IT, so then I decided, you know what, maybe I should just follow the path my dad does and do IT as well. But actually, in real life, I'm very bad at computer stuff. I'm very bad at maths, so I don't know why I chose that. But they said it paid well, so I was like, okay,
Fair enough.
might as well try. And then as soon as I tried coding, did not like it, was not my thing. And then so I just, you know what, might as well try medicine. So I tried medicine. I know it's like like why medicine, right? Yeah, but then I really liked biology, and I did think of doing medicine previously, but I was too afraid of doing medicine because I knew how it was going to be as a doctor in the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's a decent, the change of, career pathways. Well, at least you're here, almost 1 year left
Yeah.
to be over with.
Yep.
So that's decent actually. I mean, the arts thing is actually really interesting because I also, if assuming that I were to change degrees, it would be not something to do with STEM at all. It would definitely not something to do with STEM. It would be like definitely the opposite end, like mass comm or like filmmaking, something to do with that.
Yeah.
Totally opposite end of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's maybe start off with Shiwei.
Mm-hmm.
So most students, once they get into med school, right, they spend their time mostly for academics, right? And then even if they join extracurricular stuff, it's mostly one, and they call it a day.
Mm-hmm.
So with you, you were not only like right now you are in Perseab, and also you've been consistently involving yourself with MMIYM and the regular MMI as well. So what made you like want to join multiple? And you think what do you think is the benefit of like students joining multiple, societies and whatnot?
Okay, so actually ever since secondary school, I've always been active, and it has been something that my parents really encouraged me, things that you can't get from books, speaking to other people, those soft skills.
Soft skills.
Yeah, so I graduated from secondary school also as the president of the First Aid Society, BSMM. Yeah, and then after that, moving on, I went to matriculation. And then over there,
Malacca, right?
yes, KMM. And then over there I also started. Actually, I also don't know why. Like sometimes I question myself, like why I make myself so busy. You know? But over there, I also like started the first aid society as well in KMM. So I'm not sure if it's still still there. Like but I started it. Yeah. Okay. And then then I met a few seniors, and they introduced me to MI Young Medics. So that's how I got into like the medical student world of organizations. And then since from there, then a lot came out, right? And then we have MMI, we have SMAMS, MSSS, right? And then also each university we have our own Persatuan Mahasiswa faculty. So yeah, that was how I got introduced into the medical student world of organizations. And over there, I definitely benefits is in as a pre-medical student. In MMI Young Medics, they teach you. You have seniors who guide you through the way in getting to medical school, and then after that, I got to learn a lot about how to organize events, how to design ground plans in terms of like how to deal with people. I think that's the main thing over there. And then I moved on to MMI Malaysia. But as you progress, like you said multiple, but actually I only have one now. I think maybe multiple is when you have smaller roles, right? But then as you progress, like currently I'm Persiap UKM, the Persatuan Mahasiswa Fakulti Perubatan of UKM, and I'm the president. So yeah, I have to juggle that and also studies. So that's just one. So I think you can explore multiple at first, like SMAMS, MMI, MSS, and then see what you like. And then after that, just focus on one. Yeah, and definitely I say the benefit is soft skills and then how to manage your time. I think sometimes if let's say all your peers, most of them are focused on studies, it tends to feel quite lonely sometimes because because sometimes like you see other people, maybe they can spend 4 hours studying, but as opposed to you, if you join all these things, you get like just 2 hours. But I think you have to look at the long run. All these things, it really helps you in the future, in your career path, when you have to, everything is built, at the foundation is an organization, even if when you go to work in a hospital or you work in a KKM in the future.
Like the skills you learn from organizing all these programs, just communication basically. You learn a lot of it.
And also building confidence.
Agree? That's that. How about yourself, Danya? You're active in Med-Tok, right? UM's Medical Society.
Yeah, I was previously under Med-Tok, especially during preclinical years. And then I toned down a little bit after I joined clinical years. I think I was very into extracurricular activities, especially in high school and as well as preclinical years. And then eventually I decided that, I'm going to focus on myself, focus on my own things. So I create more content, I do my own hobbies. So I spend more time on that instead of spending time in societies. So I think I've had my fair share amount of time in societies as well. And then I found that all the meetings that we had and all the time spent, I found that it's like it takes up a lot of time.
It can get
it takes up a lot of time. So I thought, it's okay. I can take a step back, let the others handle it. I will just excuse myself and do my own thing for now. Yeah. And also I have more time to focus on my studies, in my postings, especially since nowadays, like third year and fourth year, the postings can be quite demanding. Yeah, especially with our time. So yeah, focusing on that more.
I see. Yeah. Okay, so now in terms of Danya, right, like you said, you are right now, you create content pretty often on TikTok and IG. So would you consider yourself technically a medical influencer? Technically, or do you hate the word influencer?
Yeah, right. So every time someone, yes, sometimes when people call me like brands, they would say influencer, and I'm like, influencer does not seem right. But yeah, I do create content. The reason why I started creating content was when I was younger, I used to go watch contents, watch YouTube, watch TikTok for help, just on like how to help myself be a better person and things like that. So I want to give back to the people, to the viewers. And I know that most of us, we scroll on TikTok, we scroll on Instagram, we watch YouTube.
A lot.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, it's your escape, So I want to, instead of doing or like scrolling on irrelevant things, might as well you scroll and watch something beneficial to you. So I'm trying to, help people and entertain at the same time. Yeah.
So just like I said regarding that, you create content on TikTok and whatnot. And some of it is regarding definitely your journey in med school.
Mm-hmm.
And similar to you, more like actual medical influencers, right? They create a lot of content in relation to, you know, the Ministry of Health and how doctors are in Malaysia, the lifestyle and whatnot. Like, how do you decide? How do you think, or how do you think that one should decide what content should be shared in relation to, you know, the medicine, in relation to medicine, and what is not to be shared, and what you should withhold and not share? Because my thought process behind that is that, you see, these days, right, with the exposure TikTok and Instagram all that has, anything you do, anything you say, it gets the audience. It's huge.
Yes.
So mostly, if it's said that even today, right, you can go on TikTok, go on IG, you search up housemanship, or you search up medical school. It's all complaints about how the system
That's
is
true.
flawed and like everything is bad. You're not getting paid enough. Like, and to a certain degree, yes, it is like certain aspects of it are true, but also I feel that that gives the people, the general public, a very bad view of becoming a doctor, of pursuing medicine in the first place. Like, you ask any average like person in high school these days, like, do you want to become a doctor? They say like, I'm not gonna get paid enough. I'm not gonna get paid enough. I'm not gonna get a proper job, right? So even like these false premises, they develop a lot through the how content spreads these days. So like, how the responsibility? What do you think the responsibility is?
Okay.
Like, what you should share, what you shouldn't share.
Okay, going back on what you said just now, yeah, I agree. There's a lot of negative content about medical school and being a doctor out there. And a lot of people say don't romanticize medical school. And I feel like everyone says that. Everyone says don't romanticize medical school. No one romanticizes medical school. Like, why don't we start romanticizing medical school? Make it more a happier place to be at. I know it's difficult. It's like, no doubt, it's difficult. But then we can make it better. If everyone is positive and everyone is helping each other, then we can grow together. If everyone is negative, there's a negative connotation behind it. We're not going to have any more doctors in the future. No one's going to get into medical school anymore. Yeah, so I think it's okay to be happy and not be like so negative about medical school and all that. And also, I would say that a lot of times the doctors, when they talk bad about things, when they go on TikTok or go on Instagram to create content, they probably had a bad day. On that specific day, they had a bad day and they are motivated to make that content. But on the good days, they probably don't want to make that content. And there are good days. It's just that when they are overworked, they feel more pressured and they feel angry, so they want to make the content. So you see that content, you don't see the good part, you know? So it's like in Instagram, they would say like, oh, you're seeing the good part of people, you're not seeing the bad part. But with medical life, you're actually seeing the bad part and not seeing the good part. There are the good times as well. So I feel more people should share the good times. Yeah.
Like, there isn't all the good instances, they're not sharing it enough.
Yes.
So I do agree with you in that sense. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the point where you brought up about the system and everything is really something out of touch from us as students and people currently in the medical field. You know, all these problems solved by the government, policymakers. So I did think about that. I think mostly when, you know, the younger juniors, they come and ask me about whether they want to pursue medicine or not.
Yeah.
I always tell them, like, if you're worried about the pay, about the lifestyle and everything, yeah, it shouldn't be that in the first place, right? I know the system, you know, how everything is going. We still know that there's an issue, but I believe like in the near future, it will slowly improve. Not that fast, maybe 5 to 10 years. But I always advise them, if let's say medicine is something you want to pursue, then all these things actually, it doesn't really matter because the job itself, you want to help people, right? Okay, the working hours is like terrible. The pay is not enough. But there's something you want to do. So you have to weigh what do you really want, whether it's like this noble job or you're looking for, you know, work-life balance. Because if that's what you're looking for, then you shouldn't be enrolled into this course, you know. So I think a lot of us, it's best that once you're in it, you are already aware of our career prospect. And just currently, I would just say do your best to work hard on what you're currently handling. And then we'll see how the future goes. Yeah, and also I do agree, like, if you want to look at things negatively,
Yeah.
you know, the situation is fixed, you know. It's based on perspective, right?
Exactly.
So how you want to live your med school life, you want to do it just studying and not hanging out with people, studying, getting scolded by supervisors. That is one side of med school. But it's up to you how you want to live it, right?
Yeah.
You know, doing what you like, creating content, you know, vlogging for me. Actually, I don't see that much of a difference between medical students and other students. Everything, it comes back to perspective and how you view it as a person. So I think that would be my point of view, because if you want to talk about the system, whether it's good or bad, I don't think it's something we can really do anything about. Yeah. So if this is what you want, med school, medicine, something you want to study, then I think just go for it. That was what one of the housemen told me when I was still thinking about, I wanted to study medicine, but I heard all these bad things before entering med school. She told me, Chiwe, if this is something you want, just go for it. And I'm really thankful that she told me that. And I took the step, and now I'm in med school. I could have been doing something else just because of all the bad things people say. But it comes back to whether, is this something you want to do or not? You know? And then, of course, progressing now in clinical years, we really talk to patients and everything. I'm glad lah. I think this is really something I want. You either try your best to live your life well, or in the future, if you have like the ability, maybe you try to change the system. Like, that's all. Yeah. So that would.
In that sense, just accepting that there are flaws, but everything has flaws. Every job out there isn't every job out there isn't easy. So try your best. I think, like you said, like try your best not to only see the
negative part of it. Yeah.
Also, just to touch on your vlogging as well, right? So was there any content that you want to film that you haven't filmed yet that you feel like would be great content you can film?
Oh my god, so many. But
I need like one, like you think like this, if you actually film this, right, it would be great. But you haven't had the time, or you think it's more complicated.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about like the struggles in med school. Like, you know, a lot of students, not everyone are scoring A's. Most of us are having a hard time, right? I wanted to make content about that because I personally went through my own struggle and I overcame it. I wanted to share my experience, but obviously I didn't have the time. I find it quite interesting because like you invited both of us, but we are very different. Like you said, you had your fair share of society, so now you're taking a step back and focusing on content, right? I started out with like content in metrics, and then I slowly, it has been like 1 year since I posted a YouTube video because I've been too busy with all the society things and you really don't have time.
Today's where we start back.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And
I understand how like there really won't be enough time, you know. Like you're probably doing all this, and then and you have to like juggle sleeping, eating. You probably don't even get enough sleep.
So I'm actually, so for me it's like you focus one thing at a time. So now I decided to focus on society. So I have no choice but to just, because I do YouTube, right? It's like long content. It's not like a few days. It takes a few days to produce something, so I have to just set it aside, and hopefully in year 5 when I retire, I hope to continue because it's really something I think we enjoy doing.
I'm pretty sure when you retire as well, you have a lot more in terms of what the content you can create will be a lot more different. Because then you already graduated like a medical doctor, so the content.
I think for me, like I tend to, vlogs is like for me a way for me to document my life, and I hope from there I am able to give insightful advice to those who watch my videos. And and also I actually went to Belgium to have my elective posting. I vlogged the whole thing, like the whole, my phone is like, all my storage is full, but I just didn't have time to edit. But I'm still doing it.
Still editing?
Still doing it. I don't plan to quit. I am looking forward to continue.
Slowly.
That's good.
Slowly. At least we get the vlog out. Okay, going back to you then, regarding you being the content creator and whatnot, I'm pretty sure you work with multiple brands and whatnot. So what is something that you've learned creating content that you think has helped you right now being a medical student, and also you think will help you later on when you graduate?
I would say talking to people, not just like in the medical field, but outside of the medical field, interacting with them. For example, like people with brands that I work with and things like that. People who are not in medicine, they think very differently. So understanding their perspective, coming in terms with that is like we have to see eye to eye in a lot of things. So learning how to give and take, that's something I learned. And I think that would be very useful when I see patients in the future as well. Not all patients will be very accommodating to us, especially nowadays. I would say that patients are more are equipped with knowledge, just on their fingertips, Google, ChatGPT. So they rather trust ChatGPT than trust
They
doctors.
come to you telling you what disease they have.
Exactly.
They
So
want you to confirm.
yeah. So, and also like a lot of things like they don't comply to medications. You ask why, they're like, oh no, the doctor. I don't believe the doctor. Things like that.
Yeah.
So we need to know how to actually talk to people, and I think that creating content, working with brands has helped me work with people. Yeah, communicating with people. I think that's a very good thing, and also like seeing patients on a day-to-day basis at hospital as well. It's a very good stepping stone to the outside world. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So with that, let's go on to your actual postings right now. So both of you guys are in year 4, your clinical postings. Your favorite right now, which posting are you guys in?
I just finished my first semester.
Oh yeah, you finished your exam.
Yeah, I just finished my
Oh.
exam 2 days ago. I
Okay.
did my first semester I did OBGYN, ENT, and also psychiatry.
Okay.
So for right now, you're in.
I'm in psychiatric posting right now. Yeah, I just finished ONG, and I also finished this is like third year. I finished my internal medicine, surgery, IENT, and also pediatrics. And then fourth year, when I came in, I did my emergency medicine and anesthesiology. Yeah, so I just finished ONG and going to psychiatric posting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your favorite posting?
For
And
me,
why?
I think currently it would be ENT.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I think I was very lucky to get a very good mentor, supervisor, and like his classes always end at 7 p.m. but we willingly stay.
Okay.
Yeah, he brought us around, and I think it's interesting because firstly you can start with allergic rhinitis, right? Some very simple,
Mhm.
a pretty common thing, and then it can go on to carcinoma of the maxillary sinus, where it affects the eye, and then the person have to like cut the half of the face, or so. And they have like laryngectomy and tracheostomy, right, where those people, they don't have their vocal cords ready, and then they have to use a device to speak.
Yeah.
So I think it's something very new because it's also a subspecialty. So, but I think mainly I enjoy it because of my supervisor.
Okay. How about you?
I think I enjoyed ONG the most, even though it was the most hectic posting I've ever had. I enjoyed it because we were very involved. So we were like, we had a lot of 24-hour on-calls. So in we have 3 24-hour on-calls and 3 16-hour on-calls. Do you have on-calls as well?
We have, but then ours is until 10 p.m.
Oh, 10 p.m. Okay. So we have 24 hours. So 8 a.m. today up to 8 a.m. tomorrow. So we would have to be in the labor ward, helping the HOs, helping the MOs, helping the specialists deliver babies. Yeah, a lot of hands-on work. So it was really interesting to see that day after day. And just working with the doctors, a lot of the professors, they're very inspiring. Just to see these doctors work, like I really salute ONG specialists. They have so much of grit in what they do. They would have my specialists. They would come for what, around 7 a.m. in the morning. Like even before we go there, they would be there at 7 a.m. and then they go back like at 8 p.m. or so, whatever. And then the MOs, they would be there, like if they have a 24-hour on call, they would stay then up the next day and finish their shift 8 to 5 p.m. So it's like a 36-hour shift. Yeah, so they would do all that, and it's just very inspiring to see. And also the patients, they will, babies, right? So when they get their baby out and they hold their baby, it's like so emotional. It's so beautiful. So I just love seeing that. So that's why I think it's, even though very tiring, I loved it so much. Yeah.
Okay. So ONG for you, and then it's ENT for you. Okay. So right now, with the experience you guys have in these postings, right? If anyone, like for most medical students transitioning into clinical postings, what is like one tip or one advice you would give them to like survive clinicals?
Yeah, this goes back to when you are in year 3, right? So 1 year ago, I remember at that time I was shocked by the amount of freedom we have, because you don't have 8 to 5 lectures scheduled for you. It's all like clinic sessions, ward rounds, and then basically the other time of the day you have to just plan your day, like how you want to study, when you want to go and clerk patients. So there's no fixed schedule for you. So I think it's very important to know how to plan your time. And secondly, because in clinical years there's a lot of practical, right? It's not theory. There's no right or wrong. all the
Yeah.
doctors have different styles.
Mhm.
You know, this doctor say this doctor,
Yes,
the other one
very
says
true.
that. And yeah, if you want to, you know, compare the marks you get with other people, actually that's something that I think is very subjective. So you probably have to like have a mentally prepare that, you know, some in clinicals a lot of things are unpredictable, especially when it comes to practical, and you have to adapt according to the situation. There's no right or wrong. Yeah.
Okay. So don't try and correct your lecturer on the spot lah. If something is
Yeah.
wrong.
Because
Okay.
each of them have their own style and
Yeah,
their own preference. So just don't waste your time complaining like why this doesn't say this and this doesn't say that. Like, I already practiced this, why do I have to just adapt
And move on.
according
Adapt
to the
and move on.
situation?
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you
Yes.
then?
Okay, with me, I would say in preclinical years, you're mostly doing lectures. You don't really interact with your professors, your lecturers, right? But then when you go into your clinical years, you would really, your doctors would teach you in smaller groups, in smaller settings. So when they teach you, I would say put your ego down. They will scold you. There will be multiple times they will scold you and scold you for things that you probably have never done or probably did not even do. Say sorry and move on. That would be the best thing to do. Do not argue back, because when you argue back, it really gets you nowhere. You know, it's just they might be your examiner tomorrow. So just be humble with doctors. You might feel very angry, but suppress that anger for that time. At that time you can just think to yourself like, you know, maybe they're having a bad day, maybe they're overworked. Just, you know, try to cope that way, and then when you get back home, get a journal, write down whatever, you know,
Take
say
out your anger
whatever.
that way.
Yeah, take out your anger that way. Tear the paper into pieces. You know, it's like that's how you have to cope with the mental and emotional stress that you may go through. So yeah, so it's very different from preclinical years. And preclinical years is mostly just studying. That's all you have to do. But with clinical years, you need the experience. So go and see patients. You have to go see patients and then juggle with studying as well. So you have to read the textbooks, but you can't only read the textbooks. You have to also go see patients. They are your teachers. Patients are your teachers, right? So learn from them, and whatever, like for example, you learn a case from them, and then go back and then try to read that, even though like most of the time there's no time for that. Yeah, so eventually
Try your best.
you will learn how to do it.
Okay. Alright.
Be proactive,
Yeah.
humble, and adapt to various situations.
Exactly.
And if you hate your lecturer, write their name down and tear the paper.
Yeah, just write down
Film
whatever.
a YouTube video and then delete.
That's actually a decent idea. Film yourself screaming and then delete.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't do that, by the way.
None of us. Amazing.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Okay, so I want to talk a bit about Legoland.
Oh, like okay. I was like thinking, okay, now I get it.
The first time I went, okay, by the way, Legoland as in like Hospital Pakai UKM.
Yes.
Some people call it Legoland.
Okay.
But it's just, even like crossing from the road, right, it looks so big. Oh my god! It's, in terms of how it is, it just looks really. I don't know what the right term is. It just looks really cool, lah, basically. So I want to know, like, you haven't done your PETS posting yet, right?
Not yet.
Okay, so based maybe from your seniors, what have they told you like the PETS posting is like? Because I'm pretty sure you guys do it over there. So like, based on what your seniors have told you, any like input from them on how different doing PETS posting is in UCAM because of having a dedicated specialist hospital?
I'm not sure how to comment on that because we only experienced that, right? We only experienced having the PETS posting in HPKK.
Yeah.
So like to say like how is it different, we only experienced one. So
But maybe like what your seniors have told you in terms of they would have noticed like how good it is, maybe.
I think
Like, anything different, definitely there has to be something.
because the whole hospital is dedicated to pediatrics. So even for psychiatry, the pediatric department is also in HPKK,
Okay.
and we have like operation theatres, like basically a whole hospital for the pediatric posting. How different it is. I think we definitely have a lot more exposure over there, and the facilities there as well. Students get to participate in more procedures, and also be more engaged with the patients, because actually over there, I'm not sure how is it you did your pediatric posting,
Yes.
right? Because over there it's like patients each have a room.
Okay.
So is it in UM it's like wards, is it?
Yeah, in PPUM, the pediatric wards are like any other wards, so it's a sharing ward.
So
Yeah.
the curtain,
Yeah, there'll be curtains. So
Yeah.
that's how it is. So in UKM is different.
each patient have their own room.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I saw they have like a lot of events happening every time in the lobby where they have clowns going there, or like people dress up as Spider-Man, Elsa, and then they go around giving toys to the patients. Like, I think that's what I saw. But yeah, unfortunately, I haven't personally went through pediatric posting, so I can't really comment much.
Okay. So based on like, let's just discuss very quickly, because regarding the differences in like UM and UKM, because if I'm not mistaken, like you initially wanted UM, you wanted UM. I see.
Yes.
You technically wanted UM, but then you couldn't get in, but you did get UKM. So
What?
So like that, I mean, I did watch the video, right? And it was something very different, because usually you see people posting of them getting their medical school, and most of them are like crying out of like happiness and whatsoever. And her video was the first one I felt like she was, you like generally, initially, you didn't feel that great. You felt disappointed. Initially, you felt disappointed. For me, which is like actually like a fresh take of someone not, getting that frustration. But after looking back now, like, do you think how is it like UCAM has been like definitely okay for you?
It's dangerous like now. I'm like the student society president. I'm like, I didn't want UCAM at first.
No. We'll come.
Yeah, but I think I was really surprised like how good the facilities is in UKM. It's actually, I think, because usually,
I mean, definitely not to put on UM as well.
No, it's fine.
It used to be in KL hospital, and then they have their current HCTM and also HPKK, and that's why they built their campus there. Everything is like, you went there before, right?
Yeah.
The facility is really, really great. And we really work closely with our lecturers. Like they are, but I do think that there's not much of a difference. There's not much of a difference.
True.
But
Roughly the same.
yeah, but for me, because I have always wanted to enter UM, right? So I always just know about UM. I didn't really explore on UKM. So when I went in, I was like really surprised with all the quality, the facilities, the opportunities we get. Over there, I would say, actually, most of the students, they are not very, very active in extracurricular. I think as opposed to UM, my impression is everyone is very active there. In UKM, previously my seniors told me most of the students are like just like studying and all, because we are in campus Cheras, so it's different from the main campus. Our main campus is in Bangi. That's why we are in like a very small community. So we don't have like any runs or all those festivals going on. Yeah, but I think slowly, I would say we are building up that student community, and now we are quite active.
Because where I was getting at that is that there actually are a lot of us who feel the same way, because like maybe like most of us, we know like UM, UCAM are like one of the best in Malaysia, right? And then most of us target to get into those universities. But some of us can't get into the universities, we get into different faculties. But initially we do feel bad. Like, oh my god, why? But they get into Unimas or Unisa, but all of them are really good medical faculties as well. So in terms of syllabus, everything is roughly the same.
Roughly the same.
Everything is roughly the same. So just getting over the initial hurdle, of like feeling bad. Because if I'm honest, I also had that feeling initially. So getting that initial hurdle, that is not something many people talk about. Yeah. So for once when you did express that, I felt it's very relatable, the initial frustration. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. Okay, so before we end this part of it, let's go into, very quickly, craziest experience, clinical posting.
Okay, craziest experience happened recently during my...
I don't want the OT one.
Oh, no. This is a different one.
Okay.
So, during my 24-hour on-call, my last 24-hour on-call during my ONG posting, I was... there was one consultant. He was basically in charge of the labor ward that day. And then I was helping him with this patient's delivery. So this patient is actively giving birth at this point. And then the doctor is right there. He's trying to take out the baby.
You were there while the patient is giving birth, the doctor's out there.
Yeah. So then there's the consultant, and there were two MOs, and there was me, the medical student. So this patient was suddenly going in labor. So it was just me there with her at the time. Then I called the consultant. The consultant came in. Then he was like, okay, Danya, help me. So I was by the patient's bed, like right by the patient's side. I was feeling the contraction. So when like in labor, when the mother is experiencing contraction, they have to push. So then I'm there, feeling for contraction to tell her when to push, sort of thing. So then I'm just feeling a contraction while the consultant, he's right there, trying to, take the baby out. So then eventually the baby took some time. So then we had to use a vacuum.
Okay.
So the consultant used a vacuum. And right as the baby was coming out, mind you, I can't see what's going on down there.
Okay.
So I just have the view of the consultant's face. The consultant was talking to the husband, which was on the other side of the bed. So it was like, I was here, he was there, and the patient was here.
So the husband was also
Yeah, the husband was also there. So usually they call the husband in
Yeah,
while
yeah,
the patient is actively giving birth. Yeah. So then I'm feeling for the contraction, and all of a sudden I see just splash, amniotic fluid splash, and right into the consultant's mouth. Right into his mouth. As he was speaking to the husband, he was saying something, I don't remember what he was saying, but then right into his mouth, and then he was like, it's okay. And then the MOs like shout at the other medical students, like, get him tissues now. And then like the medical students are like running, getting tissues. And then when they give him the tissues, he's like, oh no, it's okay, it's fine. He just spit it out, finish his work. He finishes everything. He finished his job, do the cord clamping, everything, takes out the placenta, everything like that. And then he finishes everything, and only after that he went to wash his mouth. And that's when I was like, wow, this man is so dedicated to his job. So yeah, that was like the craziest experience, just watching that happen, watching I got like the front view of amniotic fluid going into his mouth. So it was crazy.
For him to be so relaxed, you're going to think that this is not his first time.
No, I don't think it's his first time. It probably has happened before. But to me, I remember the husband's face. I saw the husband, right after I saw him, I saw the husband's face, and the husband was like, and I was like, okay. Yeah, it's crazy.
Amniotic fluid tastes like though.
You want to ask him.
Yeah, I have to ask him.
Yeah.
No idea.
How about you, Shivi?
I don't.
Anything close to as crazy of amniotic fluid going?
No. Yeah, I don't think I would fit into the craziest experience.
No bodily fluids were involved.
But memorable experience I remember when I was in my internal medicine posting, because in UKM we have also some international doctors, right? So they couldn't speak Mandarin. So I was suddenly like, when I was like waiting for like my turn to cut a patient, and then this doctor just pulled me over. You boleh cakap Cina ah? I said, oh, boleh. Mari. And then she brought me over, and then she told me that she wanted to like translate this to the family. Yeah, and then like the content was basically breaking bad news. Oh. Then I was like, I'm just a student, and I have to, because the patient is in a very bad condition, critical condition, and in order to like really help to prolong the life, they have to intubate him. Okay. But if they intubate him, then the risk of infection goes up, and then they don't think he's fit for that. Mm-hmm. But that's why they have to let the family members like make a decision. So I had to translate this to the family, and the doctor went on and on. I was thinking like she say one line, then I translate one line, but no, she told me the whole story, and then she like a year 3 medical student, and yeah, she told me to convey it to the family. Mm-hmm. So I just tried my best to do it. I confirmed a few facts, because like obviously I'm not like her MO level, right? I just entered internal medicine. But I just told myself to like, okay, calm down and just do this right. Told family lah. They would, I think the wife actually knew what's going on, but she was just throwing a tantrum a bit, because I think she just didn't want to accept the fact that it was like a bad lie. It was bad, but there was something that happened. So I was like pretty shocked that day. Like I didn't expect this to happen. Yeah.
Delivering something like that isn't easy.
Especially
as a medical student.
But were they accepting of it eventually, or like how long did they go on for?
They like asked me about 2 to 3 times, and then I tried to like console them and just tell them that this is what the doctor said, and then she's like, okay. Then she asked me can you call my son or daughter and like, tell them. Then I said, all right. Then after that, another doctor took over.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was what happened.
Yeah.
Because at that point, like whatever reaction they do give, right, you have to take it. Like some of them, if they genuinely can't properly receive it, they can even like scold you. Like that can happen.
I was genuinely shocked, because I thought like I had to translate something simple, right? I didn't know I had to translate this like
something that's so serious.
Yeah. So for me, that was memorable lah. Yeah.
Interesting. Both equally interesting in their own ways.
Yeah, like polar opposites. Yeah. Mine was like funny, and
yours is like very sad. But yeah, okay. So to wrap up this section about clinical posting, we have a mini game we want to play. Since I've already established the UM-UKM difference, we're going to do not really a UM versus UCAM, but I'm going to be asking you guys some trivia questions. And
Okay.
the winner will actually get amazing Dodo Dots
Oh,
table patches.
acne patches.
Yeah, so this section is actually sponsored by Dodo Dots. So
Okay.
I'm going to be asking you guys a couple questions. Let's see if you guys can answer. It's going to be medical trivia, nothing too detailed. I'm not going to ask you like the pathophysiology of like infective endocarditis or something. Nothing. Very simple questions.
I didn't study before this, so
Yeah. You weren't
yeah, we weren't informed.
You weren't- yeah, exactly. You guys
Okay.
are revising on the way here.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I would have been like,
Studying the pin code on the way here. Okay, alright. First question. Okay. Let me see. I actually want to see. Alright.
I'm so tempted to discuss with her.
Okay. First question to answer. Okay, we just answer. Don't have to raise up your hand. Okay. Smallest bone in the human body.
Patella. No.
Is the one
5, 4, 3, 2.
stapes? Okay.
But patella is a close one actually. Yeah. Okay. Stay please. Okay. 1-0. Next question. Okay, let me see. This is pretty straightforward lah. Which organ in the human body produces insulin?
Pancreas. Sorry. Okay.
It's fine. I think she'll catch up. You can catch up. You can catch up, right? Okay.
I try.
Okay. Which part of the human body has the most bones? You can just simply throw out answers and then if kena je.
Thorax, spine.
The hands.
Oh. Okay, it's actually the hand.
Oh, it's actually the hands. Oh wow. Okay, I just.
Oh my god. It's fine. You can catch up, Kiwi. It's fine.
Okay.
you can. Okay. All right. Let me see.
I just guessed that.
You just went for it. Hands.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just went with hands.
Fair enough. What is the medical term for the white part of our eye?
Sclera.
Yes. Okay. 1-3. We're getting better. 1-3. Okay. Some more. Let me see. We'll go for 3 more questions.
Okay.
So you can, if you get all 3 correct, you can win. Okay.
So it looks like you're supporting her.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, you are leading. Okay, come on. You want competition.
Okay.
Hardest substance in the human body.
Hardest substance. Teeth. Tooth. Is it?
Okay, I'll give it. It's still the enamel, but I'll give it to you.
Okay.
Technically, okay. All right. Largest organ in the human body.
Skin.
Okay, skin. All right. 2-4. Okay, in typical AMSA UPNM fashion, the last question is worth 20 points. So ever.
Okay.
You want to make it engaging for people. So.
Right.
Okay, this one. Let me see. I can't ask something too easy. Okay, this one I'll go for this. Longest bone in the human body.
I know the answer.
You want to say?
It's okay. It's
Nah,
fine.
okay, I can't think. She almost said that she didn't want to say it. Okay, wait, properly. We'll do a proper one.
Okay.
Come on, UKM's like.
So you actually want me to compete? Okay, fine.
Oh, so you think you've not been competing all this while?
Okay, go on.
Okay. We'll do a proper one. Okay. Right. It is slightly harder. Let's see. Medical term for pins and needles. All the OB-GYN knowledge, all the IM knowledge is coming through.
I mean the pins and needle sensation.
Yes. I'll give you guys a hint. It starts with P. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. It's prestige.
Oh my gosh. I know
Okay.
that. Okay.
Close. It's fine. Okay. Next one. Part of the brain which is responsible for memory.
Oh
The
my God.
amygdala. Is it?
Wait.
Oh my gosh, I know this. Memory.
This is your pre
Oh my
pro
gosh.
exam.
Is it the hippocampus?
It is the hippocampus. Okay, so we have Dania winning the game.
Thank
With
you.
that, you get to pick one of our pimple patches, and also Chiwi you get to pick as well. 'Cause-
Oh,
So you guys get one each. Which one you guys want actually? We have.
Oh,
three
that's
different-
like fruits.
Yeah, it's different.
So cute.
this is hearts.
You want this?
You want hearts?
Okay.
Which one do you want? Oh, there are a few though. Which
Yeah,
what's the
yeah.
blue? What's the brown one? Oh,
this
that's
is
cute
like
as well.
flowers.
Okay, sure. I think
Okay. I think
You want to take
I'll take this one.
okay. I'll take this one then.
The hearts. Thank you.
Thank you. So cute.
Okay, so moving on into again the podcast bit of it.
Yep.
Let's talk a bit about something a bit different. And actually Chibi touched on it a bit just now regarding academics, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to get into med school is not easy.
Mm.
And you get into med school, usually you have to perform somewhat decently well in your high school to get into med school, right? So when you get into med school, you notice that however well you did perform back in high school, you come here and there's always bigger fish. There's always people who can perform better than you. There's people who are smarter than you. People who score well, so much more better than you. And sometimes that can really affect us mentally. And it's almost like similar to what you said. It's about being okay with being average.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Being okay with being average, making peace with the fact you're an average medical student, right? And even though at the end of the day, most of us we just aim to pass and then we can get into the next stage, right? It does take a toll on our mental health, right? And for example, like myself, right, I experienced the same thing coming into med school. Then I realized like, oh, there's so many more people who are
Mm-hmm.
they perform way more better, they able to score way more better, and I consider myself like around an average student, below average around that. So like even though yes, mentally I know like okay, it's not gonna really affect me personally because as long as I pass, I'll be fine. But still, that's still like something that stings lah of you not being able to do well compared to other people. How do you think? Do you think it's normal for people to feel this way? And how do you think you can cope? I think what's up with you guys?
I would say yes. Like during high school, I was quite studious in the sense that I would be like, okay, I have to get A's. I have to get like SPM all A plus. I did not get all A plus, by the way. But I had the thing where SPM I had to get all A plus, and when I did not get all A plus, I was like so sad. I was crushed, right? So the reason why is because in my mind I have to do well to get into the university I want. And then when it came to A levels, I have to do well to get into the university I want. So right after I got into university, I told myself, you know what? I'm here already. I just have to do the bare minimum. But then when it came to exams, I could not let go of my past. Like I have that in me to still want to study, to do well. Like I would think, okay, what if I do bad? Then what would the people around me think? I have that thing, So I still try my best. Every exams, I still try my best to do the best that I can. But then eventually I realized, you know what, I can actually relax a little bit. Medical school is hard. It's difficult. It's a lot of memorizing, a lot of content. So we need to learn a lot. So it's really on how we study and how we approach on things. So yeah. So it's like at this point I see it as a experience. I just want to experience medical school instead of taking it as a achievement based kind of thing. I just want to go through it, have fun while also studying, because I also do realize like when during my pre-clinicals I did study well, so it really helped me during my clinical years. So I do realize that if I study now, it will help me when I become a doctor later. So I need to study for my patients in the future. So while also taking care of myself, if I don't take care of myself, if I'm not well, how am I going to take care of my patients, right? So there needs to be a balance. So I had to come to terms with that. And it's quite hard to find the balance at times. Sometimes I end up like not eating dinner and continue studying, like especially the day before exam. And then like my parents have to tell me like, oh, go eat, or sleep well kind of thing, right? It's so easy to get into that. But I think over time, you have to tell yourself like, you have to take care of yourself. You have to be a healthy doctor to make your patients healthy. Yeah. So it's a balance in medical school. It's not just very academic based.
Like I said, your approach, you saying that you're trying to experience medical school.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good approach. How about you, Chivi? Like, what do you think? Because it actually ties down to what you said previously.
Yeah. This is a problem that I do see a lot of medical students experiencing. You know, people getting DNIs, getting A's, getting, you know, certain achievements. Those people are put in the spotlight, right? But then you don't realize that there's a lot of people at the same boat. You're not alone, you know, going through like struggling in med school. You're not the only one struggling. There's so many people, but because like we're individuals, right, we tend to, you know, focus on ourselves. So when we think we don't get an A, it's the end of the world. You know, it usually starts like in year one, right, when your first time you score a B.
Yeah.
But then it gets better, you know, as you progress, and you start to accept, you know, like I'm just gonna do my best, and then whatever is the outcome, it's okay. But it's really easier said than done. But I really think it's just you just don't compare yourself with others. You take other people as a good motivation to help you improve yourself. But then as long as you're doing better than before in terms of your own progress, I think that's the only thing that you should focus on.
Yeah.
The only comparison is yourself. Right?
Exactly.
Yes.
You're trying to be what you beat yourself yesterday.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
So if you are tired of you're tired of getting not good grades, study harder.
Okay.
You know, it's just basically between you and yourself. There's nothing to do with anyone else around you. When people get good grades, people do something outside of the, you know, that's their issue. You know, for you, you just have to focus on what you have at hand, and as long as you're progressing, I think that is really all that matters.
Know your priorities and know what you want.
Yes,
and then
no,
just work on it.
Yeah.
you have to realize that first.
Okay, then similar to that, what are some sacrifices you think medical students make that go often unnoticed?
Should I go first?
Sure.
Okay. I would say we actually spend a lot of time studying and clocking patients, going to the hospital. So we sacrifice our time a lot. So we end up like not going for family events, not seeing our family, especially those who are from like their university in KL, for example, and they're from Sabah or Sarawak. So they have to spend a majority of their 5 years here in KL in their university studying. So, and there's no like semester breaks, or like there's not much breaks as other faculties have. So our time is being sacrificed. And also, like I would say, we need to study for 5 years. Some degrees only 3 years, only 4 years. 4 years you already can get masters already. 5 years we only have a degree. So I mean, we have a doctor behind that, but then it's just still a degree, you know. So it's like we have to put off our dreams of our other dreams. For example, some people want to get married, want to have children, all those kind of things. We have to put that off, and like focus on this first, and then then we also have to start work late, and then we have to start earning. So that's all sacrifices, but we make the sacrifices because we love medicine, you know. We like medicine, so we do it. Yeah, it all ties down up to that. Like we want to do it because we care. Yeah.
That's what we chose to do, right?
Yes.
That's our passion. How
Yep.
about you?
I agree with what Dania said. Basically, I think to sum it all, we are mentally and physically exhausted.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
It's
I
very
think
exhausting.
Yes.
I think our preclinical years is pretty equivalent to a lot of other university courses, right? Going to lectures, but when it comes to clinical years, you have to study and you have to be at the hospital. Like for you, 24 hours and 36 hours
Never
on call.
imagine, I'm gonna faint. Like I even like barely 8 hours I need to sleep.
Yeah, so I think people don't. Everyone knows medical school is hard. Everyone knows it's exhausting, but you have to experience it yourself to know how exhausting it is.
That's true.
Yeah, and on top of that, if you're active in extracurricular activities, it adds more to the load. You do something outside of medicine, like you content creation, it adds on to the load.
Yes.
And I saw like you talking about like average medical students. I do think that people often forget that, you know, we only focus on grades. No doubt that's very important. You know, if you can, please score your best. But if you are unable to, don't feel discouraged, because medical students, I feel like I saw this reel on Instagram where they said that you forget that you're juggling all this while doing what other people do. You're active in sports, you're active in all this, but sometimes maybe in another field, that is what they are focusing on, but we are doing all those on top of medicine.
already going.
Yeah, so don't ever think you're average. Just keep trying your best and doing your
Yeah.
best.
I think that's a good approach to it.
Yeah.
Okay, coming back to wait, like definitely it is tiring, right? What do you guys do to unwind? Favorite sports, Netflix show. What do you guys do? Maybe Daniel, what do you do?
I like to do yoga.
Okay.
So I go for yoga classes every week, and recently I started doing Pilates as well.
Okay.
So I've actually like overburdened myself with sports,
Okay.
like not sports, but I would say with all these Pilates, yoga, things like that, because I find that I need to be strong. I feel like I have to be strong. When I do clinicals, when I came into clinicals, I realized that I'm very weak. Like I need to help doctors with carrying patients. I can't do that. Even like opening the heavy doors, I'm like struggling to open the heavy doors. So I'm like, okay, no way. So I have to be stronger. So I'm trying to become stronger so that things will be easier when I become a doctor. I think this is important. I've seen like a lot of doctors on Instagram as well. They emphasize on workouts, because working out can also help with all the 24-hour on-calls. It helps you go through all that. It helps you push. So or not. Also, working out helps you with like not getting sick easily, helps boost your immune system, all that kind of stuff.
Health,
Yeah, and also you don't want to be a hypocrite to your patients, right?
Yeah.
You tell your patients to exercise and then you don't exercise.
You don't
Come
exercise,
on,
yeah.
yeah.
Don't eat fast food. I'm ordering McDonald's.
Right.
It's not fair.
So you have to do what you preach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Agree. How about you, Chiwi?
I used to do badminton a lot.
Okay,
I like to play badminton and then also watch K-dramas. So that's my way to unwind. But specifically this year, right, when things are really hectic, I really don't have time. Even sleep also, I sleep like 4 hours daily. So I find that I don't even have time to go play badminton with my friends. Sometimes when you have time, you just want to sleep and you want to rest.
Yeah.
How do I unwind in those situations? Fortunately, I live in Selangor, so I can go back home. And I find that spending time with my family is so relaxing, out of all the burdens. So that's for me this year. That's what I do. Like, I go home more often, and I spend time with my family.
Okay, that's actually really sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, so Daniel, next to you, you've definitely been working with a lot of brands, right? A lot of brands, creating content for them. Has it ever occurred to you that you want to maybe start a brand of your own, work on something medical related, non-medical related, any brand, any business?
Yeah, actually, I do think about it a lot, but I just, yeah, like it's like every day I'm like doing my own thing and I'm like, oh my gosh, that would be such a good idea. Like that brand would be such a good idea. Or like that service, or like, for example, starting a yoga class or yoga studio, or like a product or whatever. But it's like a thought that I hope to someday pursue. Yeah, like I hope to someday do it. But for now, I'm just going to go with the flow and see where it takes me. I do hope that maybe after I graduate, I can start a business of my own. Don't know how. Maybe I can start my own medical practice or whatever it is.
See, that is still considered. Like clinics are still considered.
Yeah.
Medical,
But I just hope that like whatever I do, I want it to be of service to people. I want it to help people, make people stronger, or whatever it is. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Any ideas, any business?
What, you mean after med school?
Yeah. Even now, any business ideas you want to do, like anything you want to pursue, like entrepreneurship in general. Any ideas? After, maybe after graduating.
Yeah, I would really like to continue my YouTube journey
Okay.
and like build my platform, and then I don't really know how the brands work because I haven't really because there's a lot of work that goes behind it, right? Like, you have to deal with it. So like previously when I was still active, I didn't really venture into it yet because I know that it takes a lot of time also. Yeah, I'm looking forward to like really explore it after I graduate, and similar to you as well, I also hope to have my own practice. So something like that.
That's fine. Okay, next thing is regarding something a bit more sensitive, but I do think it's important to just address it. It's regarding, I'm pretty sure you touched on it just now again. Regarding dealing with patients' death. So, any direct experiences you guys have had with experiencing death, like patients' death in wards or whatsoever? Like, have you guys experienced it? Is the one you shared just now was the only one you've had? In terms of that? How about you, Daniel?
Yeah, so I've had one. Last year, I was in my emergency posting. So I was also on call on that day. So while I just started on call at the time, and my doctor, who was supposed to go for ward rounds, who was supposed to follow him for ward rounds, he was not there yet. So I just clocked the patient in the yellow zone. So he's relatively fine, right? Compared to everyone in the yellow zone, he just came in and he looked okay. He was just sitting on the wheelchair. He came with his brother, things like that. He was okay. So I approached him. I asked him questions, but he was like, his speech was incoherent. I couldn't really understand him that much. I could say he was having like chest pain, but then we eventually asked the brother for history. And then I was asking the brother for history. The brother just told me, he has fever, flu, and he had like a history of a heart attack previously, and they had to do CPR on him to revive him back. And so, it's like they put him in yellow zone. He was okay. He can walk and stuff like that. And then my doctor eventually comes. We go for ward rounds, and then we go for ward rounds in the red zone. And then there's a CPR happening at the red zone. And my doctor says, you know what, go and watch the CPR. Sorry. And so what happens is the MO who's back valve mask, like doing the back valve mask, giving oxygen to the patient while there's another doctor doing the CPR. No, sorry, CPR, the machine does the CPR for the patient. And they're putting in adrenaline, right? Because the patient was in asystole. So, in movies, when the patient flatlines, they give shock. That does not happen actually. So when patient flatlines, you're not supposed to give shock. So they were pushing in adrenaline, and I was right beside the patient. So the doctor asked me to take over with the back valve mask, and I'm doing that. And as I'm doing that, one of the doctor, he just tells, like, I could hear him talking to the doctor, and he says, this uncle was in yellow zone just now, and he was walking, he was sitting down, he was fine. And then I'm like, and then I look at the patient, and I realize it's the patient that just clocked. Like, I spent 30 minutes talking to him.
This patient?
Yes, this patient who is now in flatlining.
Okay.
And they're doing CPR on him. Sorry, I'm getting like goosebumps talking about this. So they eventually try for about like 30 minutes, and then they could not save him. He eventually passed on. Yeah. So it was very... That's
Whoa.
That's odd.
Okay, so technical difficulties. We had something going on with the lighting. So back to what you were saying regarding the patient. So yeah, we can maybe elaborate more. So how did you feel after that?
After he passed away, it was very... I don't know. I don't know how to feel, because what I saw was the doctors then moved on. Like it was another day for them. For the doctors, it's so normal to see patients dying, so then they move on and they go see the other patients who can get better. So for me, after that, I had to like think about it. While driving back home, I was thinking about it, like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do that in the future? Will I be able to just move on from a patient's death? So eventually I realized that death is a part of life. It happens. So we have to come to terms with it. And all that matters is we as doctors, we try our best to bring the patient back, or we help the patient. But eventually, when a patient moves on, we have to move on and help other patients as well. So yeah, I had to come to terms with that. Yeah, it was weird. I didn't cry necessarily, but I felt very
Heavy.
Yeah, exactly, heavy. Yeah.
Because I haven't had my clinical postings yet, but one story my senior told me that still like not really bothers me, but it's still like something. Is that apparently he was in Pete's posting. There was like a patient that he was like seeing every day, like looking every day. Like a young boy, he would carry like sweets and everything. Next day comes, the patient's not there.
Oh.
So for him, it was like he's like, he apparently like cried for a couple of days. And
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, like how do you think you would deal with something like this? Like, have you been okay, like desensitized with stuff like this?
I haven't like first-hand experience like that. That one was I was just conveying, right? Like he's not in a good state. But I think if that happens, definitely if it's the first time, I think I would feel sad. Like especially like for your friend, your senior, right? Imagine playing with the kid and then building a rapport,
Exactly.
relationship, and then he just like passed away. So but yeah, I mean, as we go on, this is our job, right? We have to learn how to like accept it and just move on, because there are other lives that we have to take care of.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's something we have to learn.
Agree. Like a part of you is like not really say sad. On one side, you have to, like you said, move on quickly as soon as possible. But on another side, you feel like does that way dehumanize you? Because
Yes.
everyone is viewed as just a digit, right? Just patients. You don't view patients as patients, but as like just like their bed number.
Yeah,
That's
or
how
by
you
their
view people.
diseases, you know.
Exactly. So in a way, you're worried that will that dehumanize you? You're worried that one day maybe if you're not feeling well, that's how other people would view you. And as a patient, do you want the doctor to actually view you as just like another case?
Yeah, of course
Special?
not.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just like finding the balance between both and like anything for you to be able to proceed effectively. Like, because like you said, you have other people also to
Mhm.
save. So no use. Like you can mourn, but then also there's a have to move on.
Mhm.
Okay. Final question. I think it's been a really fun podcast so far. Final question. I have like a really quick game. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? The age old question. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Any idea of like moving in, migrating and whatnot? Because me and her were actually in a forum together.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
About
okay.
we spoke to different people, different doctors from different countries, right? And the topic of migration came up, or like why did they move? And then I was a moderator. Like there were 5 doctors there, 4 of them cried.
Okay.
4 of them cried. So and then I saw she was like really touched by the thing. So what do you think? Like what are your plans, and do you plan on doing anything similar?
Yeah, so I did consider like one of the more popular one was going to Singapore, right? And then
'Cause you
UM and
guys can.
recognized, so we can actually, and they actually offer us positions over there. I had that in my mind, but then I went to the event Into the Future, right? And then I heard the stories from all the doctors who went to another country to have their work progress. For me personally, I would prefer staying here because I do think like my family, my friends, my life is still here, and and those times where they actually cry is actually because of this, right? Yeah, because of the family, and they feel lonely in another country. And actually, once you go there, there's no say that whether you can really come back or not. Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah.
You have to finish your specialization and then come back, is it?
yes,
That's what happened.
yes, but then sometimes like it depends, right? If let's say that the hospital doesn't want to let you go
Yeah,
there,
they have their own system.
They have their own system.
Contract and whatnot, like this, because you already have a job there technically. So yeah.
Okay, so from what I understand, these doctors, they cried because they left. They did not want to leave. No, they wanted to leave, but they regret leaving, is it?
they
Not to say regret leaving. Like it's not an easy decision for them. Like they had to make it because they had to at that point. Yeah. So for them it was like almost like that. So how about you, Danya? Any specialty? Maybe specialty, and then like do you plan on moving?
Specialty. Okay, so for the longest time, I actually wanted to do ONG. I even did my research posting under ONG with this amazing professor. But then when I went to my ONG posting, I saw how it was. No, not just the amniotic fluid. I don't think
Not
it's
ready for that.
not, yeah. No, I don't think it's really that. But I mean, I could wear a mask for the amniotic fluid part. But I think it's more of they don't really get a work-life balance at all. I heard one doctor. I was in a clinic with her, and it was already 2 p.m. by this time, and she was at the clinic from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then before 9 a.m., from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., she was doing ward rounds, right? So 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., she's at the clinic. And then the nurse came in and asked, like, oh, doctor tak makan ke? Then the doctor's like, oh, tak lah, tak apa. Then she's like, oh, saya bangun pukul 4. Setiap hari pun bangun pukul 4. Then it hit me like, she wakes up every day at 4 a.m. and why am I complaining to be here? Like, she's probably doing so much, and she still has the motivation to come every single day to do her work. So I don't know. We'll see. Like, because the work-life balance is really almost non-existent in ONG, unless there's some doctors who want to contradict that and say like, oh, maybe there is. But it's really fun. It's a really fun posting for me.
Yeah.
ONG is really fun, but yeah, there's some pros and cons there.
Fair. Okay. So with that, I think we can end the podcast. It's been really fun to talk to you guys. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, sure. So thank you so much. See you.